Hello, Cricketeers, and I'm here once again with Ruthie. Hello, Ruthie.
Hello, Chris. Hello, Cricketeers.
We wanted to do a special video because we made some mistakes in our most recent episode of Dateline Jiminy Crickets. During our top 30 Disney female live action stars segment. And a couple people sent us some notes letting us know that we had some things that we got wrong. And we always want to, make sure that our audiences are properly informed, and we don't want to put any misinformation out there. So we decided, since the last time we did it, it was in a video format, that we should do the corrections in a video format. So hopefully the same people who watched the video will see this and be informed of the things that we got wrong. And Ruthie, why don't you explain the whole thinking and philosophy behind our top 10, aka top 30 in this case, lists?
Sure. I just wanted to provide a little bit of clarification for you guys. So, when we do a top 10, 20, 30 list, because we've done all three in the past,
Yeah.
we're just doing it as a discussion topic. So, by no means is this a thoroughly researched segment like we have on other parts of the show. This is just something that we do, a fun little start to the show. We usually do one for every episode, and we kind of want it to be like a more interactive thing that we can have with you guys too. So we will give you our list, but we want you to give us your list too. And no, we are not asking for you to go and do research on every topic that we talk about or anything like that. We just kind of want to go through and just have a little fun discussion. So I just want to make sure you guys understand that when we were going through the top 30, these were, women from Disney live action films before the 80s that we all liked, and we remember them in movies, but we were not giving them their exhaustive, Disney catalog or any other catalog thereof. So I just wanted you guys to understand that, because I don't want you to hold this segment to the same standard that you would another segment where we do a full research.
Right, this is like an opening segment. It's more casual, off the cuff, just sort of off
Yeah.
the top of our head things that we want to say about the topic. We don't research it, so that's why we may not remember everything in our head at the time. And we do appreciate corrections, and we will
Hmm.
always report any corrections should we make mistakes. We're not saying don't correct us.
Right.
Absolutely correct us if we do make a mistake. That's what the comment section is for. Feel free to leave comments anytime we get something wrong, and we will definitely follow it up in our next video or whatever with corrections, because we don't want to
Hmm.
put any information out there that isn't true. But again, this was not an exhaustive research thing, and nor will it be in the future. This is
Right.
just a very casual, fun little opening segment. I think we got in trouble when we went from 10 to 30. When we
Yeah.
did that many things, we were bound to make some mistakes. The other thing I want you to keep in mind is this is just Ruthie and my uh, our feelings on the
Right.
subject.
Our
This is
opinions. Yeah.
our ranking, and if you don't agree with our ranking, then we want to hear from you and let us know your ranking. So if we left someone off the list that you feel should have been
Hmm.
included, then we want to know about it and hear from you. This is to spark conversation, and so this is by no means the definitive list. This is just our opinions. So don't take this
Right.
as the beat-all, end-all, this is the top 30. This is Ruthie and my top 30, how we
Right.
feel about it. So if you feel differently, it's okay. And we actually want to know if you feel differently. So why don't we take turns and go through? There's 7 of them. So I'll go first so that I'll go last. And we'll go through the 7 things that we need to correct, basically. So, Elmer, friend of the show, sent us 3 corrections. And then we have an anonymous person who sent us 4 more. Now, he or she sent us even more, but they were not things we actually got wrong, so we took them off his or her list because he or she, for whatever reason, didn't hear us correctly or something. But we did not get those wrong. But the ones that we
And
did get
one was
wrong,
a duplicate too.
and one was a duplicate of something Elmer had already mentioned. So
Yeah.
we took those off their list, and that's where we're at. So first of all, Dorothy Provine, who unfortunately, right after we recorded the show, passed away. Believe it or not, that was not planned. She was. We said that she was a different character's wife in the movie Mad Mad World. I don't even remember what actor's wife she played, but whoever we said, it was wrong, and she actually played Milton Berle's wife. Oh, I said she played Sid Caesar's wife, but she played Milton Berle's wife, which was the daughter of the Ethel Merman mother-in-law role, who was Milton Berle's mother-in-law. So yeah, she was, which was a bigger and better role actually. So yeah, so just want to
And I've
clarify
never
that.
seen this movie, so I couldn't correct you on that. I
Yeah,
wouldn't have known that.
right. There were a few we took off the list because I did say it wrong, but then Ruthie came back and corrected me, and we did get it right while we were recording the show, even though I was wrong initially, but we clarified it already on the show. So that's the first one. Dorothy Provine played Milton Berle's wife in It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World. Okay, so Ruthie, you can take the next one.
Okay. So I think we mentioned that Jane Wyman played on Father Knows Best, but it was really Jane Wyatt. So I think just the last names got confused.
Yeah,
And Jane
different
Wyatt
person.
was actually in the Disney movie Treasure of Matacumbe from 1976.
Right, not Jane Wyman. Jane
Right.
Wyman was in Pollyanna and Bon Voyage,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah,
Yes.
she was not the mother on Father Knows Best. So we got that wrong. That was my fault. In fact, all of these were pretty much my fault. So the next one, I said that Vera Miles had played Vicky in The Parent Trap. You know, the villainess that was going to marry the father for his money, and then the girls chased her away. So that was not Vera Miles. I don't know how I came to that. I think it's because I think the problem is I looked up Vera Miles, and a picture of Joanne Barnes came up on Google.
Wow.
And so I thought it must have been her, but with blonde hair. And I didn't look very closely. That's how I made that mistake. But that was a definite big mistake. She did not play Vicky in The Parent Trap. But Vera Miles was in several Disney films besides Follow Me, Boys, including A Tiger Walks in 1964, which we did not mention. Those Callaways, which we did mention in 1965. Of course, Follow Me, Boys, which we mentioned in 66. She was also in The Wild Country in 1971. I think we did mention, but I could be wrong, One Little Indian in 1973. And then her last Disney role was Castaway Cowboy in 1974. And I also want to mention that our co-host, Brian, wanted her higher up on the list because, in his opinion, he really, really likes her. And if he had been a participant in our list, she would have been higher. But again, this is our list. He wasn't a part of this list. And so it was how Ruthie and I felt. But had Brian been a participant, she likely would have been much higher on the list. I just wanted to make that clear, too. This is not Brian's opinions. This is just Ruthie and me.
Right.
Okay. So you want to do the next four are from the anonymous source. You want to do the next one, Ruthie?
Sure. So one of the people we mentioned on the list was Janet Monroe, and I think we had said that she was in 2 Disney films, but she was actually in a third, and that was Third Man on the Mountain. So we forgot to mention that one.
Right. We said Darby O'Gill and the Little People and Swiss Family Robinson. Yeah. But we completely forgot about Third Man on the Mountain, which is a much lesser known. I mean, it's not as famous as the other 2. That's probably why we had forgotten. But yes, absolutely. She was in 3 films, not 2. That was both Ruthie and me not remembering. That's the only one I think on this whole list that Ruthie has any blame at all for. Every other one is completely my fault.
I have not seen that movie either, so that's part of it.
Yeah, I mean, she knew that, but she has not seen the movie. She was aware of that fact, but has not seen the movie. I think it is on Disney Plus if anybody wants to go check it out. Yeah.
I just haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it.
So the next one was a huge mistake, and Ruthie thought she had corrected me, but I guess she didn't. But this was all my fault. Karen Dotrice, who was the original Jane in the original Mary Poppins, I said that she played Jane in the Return, Mary Poppins Returns. That is, in fact, absolutely not true. She did not play Jane. She was in the movie, but she only did a cameo, and she was just like a person on the street who interacts with the main people just for one little scene. And the official name of her part was Elegant Woman, but she was not a part of the main cast. She just had a little cameo as a nod to her, but she did not play Jane. That was a total mistake, and I don't know why I thought that, but Ruthie knew better, but she, for some reason, maybe she was thinking about how much she loves Karen Dotrice and didn't hear me say it, or I don't know. But anyway, that's a big oops. So what's the next one? This one's a silly one.
So, I guess we were saying Escape to Florence, but it's really actually Escapade in Florence, and that was when we were talking about Annette Funicello.
Right. Yes. And I've always had an issue with that because when I was a little boy, I read it the wrong way in my head, and it's always been like a point of confusion in my brain ever since I was a kid. And it's still sort of, you know how sometimes you have like words that you just have a problem spelling right because of, you know, that's one of the things for me. Like another problem I have is Hermione Badley. It's not Hermione, right? It's
Hermione.
Hermione. I can't get that right. It's like I have it every time I say her name, I get it wrong. Like just now I did, so that's why I messed that up. That's like a problem in my brain with that title that I don't know. But yes, it is Escapade, not Escape. So the last one Okay, we were talking. This is the only one not from the top 30 segment. We were talking about the lineup of films
Oh
coming
yeah.
to Disney this year. And we mentioned there's a Disney Channel remake of Cheaper by the Dozen with an all African American cast. And then we had said that I said, not Ruthie, I said that Lucille Ball was in the original Cheaper by the Dozen in the 60s. That's not true. She was in a very similar film with almost the exact same premise as Cheaper by the Dozen, but it was called Yours, Mine, and Ours. And it's the
Mm-hmm.
same story of a family having a lot of kids. But in that one, it was about a widowed father with a bunch of kids and a widowed mother with a bunch of kids. And then they meet each other and fall in love and get married. So all their kids join together for a huge, even bigger family. That was actually the inspiration for the TV series The Brady Bunch. That
Mm-hmm.
was based on Yours, Mine, and Ours. Cheaper by the Dozen, I think they were just always married and just had a bunch of kids. There was
Mm-hmm.
no, like, remarrying or anything. Don't correct me on that. I'm only
Right.
sort of remembering. I could be wrong on that.
It's just off the top of your head.
Yes. So those are all the mistakes that we made, and we wanted to correct them. So
And
I
that may
hope
not actually be all the mistakes we made, but that's just the ones that
those
people
are the
reached
ones
out to.
that were pointed out to us. If you hear
Yeah,
any others, be sure to let us know, and we will always correct anything we get wrong. We're not here to say we're the end all, beat all knowledge of everything. We do make
definitely
mistakes.
not. Even
Yeah,
in the segments that we do a lot of research for, we could have missed something.
of course. Now, we also wanted to address a comment someone left on our video. Um, Friend of the show, Travis, who is a very active participant in everything we do. And he gave us the okay to read this. And I asked him, and he said it was okay for us to mention this. So let me read the comment that he left, and then Ruthie and I will address it. So Travis said the following: I think the show would benefit from you retracting your New Year's resolution. Now, I'm going to stop there and tell you what I had said my resolution was in case you're not aware. I said that I wanted to be more positive on the show and not get into negative commentary as much. Okay, so that he wasn't a fan of that. So he continues. I like the cynical side of you. I feel there's a spectrum of opinions on your shows, with Ruthie nearly always being positive and excited for new things, Brian generally being positive, like Pollyanna, because Pollyanna's his favorite movie, but having strong opinions about some things, and you, who isn't afraid to speak your mind when you think something is a cynical cash grab by the Disney Corporation. Now, I'm going to address that. So, when I say that my New Year's resolution is to be more positive, I think what I really mean is we're going to pick more positive discussion topics and not get into like things that we know are going to set me off and just
Hmm.
wallow in the mud with it. We're going
Right.
to, I will always point out things that I and we even did on that episode. There were a couple things that I didn't really have a great feeling about, and I made that known. But I didn't pick a topic that I at the outset was already like totally negative about. And we
Right.
won't do that because we don't want the focus of the show to be on negativity. But if I have a problem with something, I'm not going to keep it. I can't. I'm not capable of keeping that
Right.
to myself. So, yeah, if we ever are on a topic that we chose that we is mostly a positive thing, but I do have an issue with it. I will say that. I'm not going to sugarcoat things, and I'm not a pixie duster. I don't believe in that, and I don't want to be that. And so if I have a problem with something, I will spell it out and point it out. But we're not going to go into topics that I have nothing good to say about. Basically.
Right.
Like last year, we came up with a topic, top 10 things we hate about being a Disney park guest. And Ruthie was like, can we do something else? Because I really don't want to talk about something so negative. And that sort of struck a light bulb in my head, like, why are we even doing such negative things in the first place? And then someone else, after an episode we had done of our Down the Rabbit Hole Patreon subscribers podcast, privately messaged me and said, his show was so negative, please do better. So I took that to heart, and I do feel like I should do better and not be as negative, because people go to Disney for happiness and positivity, and there's so many other places to get negative if that's what you're into. Disney isn't really one of those places, nor should it be, so we're going to keep it as positive as we can going forward, but that doesn't mean I'm going to change as a person, and that doesn't mean that I'm going to keep my mouth shut if I have a problem with something. Just wanted to clarify, and now Ruthie would like to clarify something as well. So go ahead, Ruthie.
Yeah, I know that, kind of based on Travis's comment here where he says I'm nearly almost always positive. I just kind of wanted to address that a little bit. I hope you guys don't think that's a negative thing. And the place that I'm coming from is a place of, a stressful job, and, and just the world in general is stressful, especially now. And Disney is my happy place. And regardless of what is happening with the company or whatever, which I know is not all good, but again, we're not going to talk about all the bad. Like, we want to talk about stuff that is positive and fun and exciting to us. And, it's just, it's just easier for me to focus on the good stuff about Disney because it is my happy place. And I do tend to, maybe you guys want to call me a pixie duster, I do tend to kind of try and find some positivity in some not so positive situations, because again, this is my happy place. I grew up going to Disneyland, and that is the place that I would always retreat to when I needed a break. And so that's what this podcast helps me do, because I can't go to the parks right now because I don't live close enough to go to a park on a regular basis. So that's what this podcast is for me. So that's where I'm kind of coming from when I am maybe sounding like I'm sugarcoating things, or, being, a Disney apologist or whatever. I'm not trying to, and believe me, if I have a strong opinion, I'm a very opinionated person in general. I will tell you my opinion. But I also have the ability to pick and choose what I'm going to get fired up about. So if you ever hear me get fired up, you know that I've thought well and good about a particular situation, and I have very strong feelings that I want to share with you guys, and so there is no ifs, ands, or buts about how I feel about a particular situation. So, but for the most part, I'm coming at it looking to try and find some positive in a situation, because you should be able to find something. So that is, and I hope that that's something that you guys appreciate that I bring to the podcast. If not, let me know. I mean, because again, I'm open to criticism and, constructive criticism as well. So, I hope that you guys just continue to listen to our podcast and enjoy it. And, don't worry, Chris isn't saying he isn't going to rant. And if you want to hear the rants, you're more likely to hear it on our Down the Rabbit Hole. So you should become a Patreon. Um, but it's just we don't always need to be negative. There's enough negativity in this world already, and we just definitely don't want that to be associated with our podcast. So I just wanted to, bring that up.
Okay, that really is, what she's saying definitely is one of the reasons why I want to be more positive. Her saying that Disney is her happy place, I feel that for a lot of people, that's true. And so I don't want to corrupt that by being so negative about things. If Disney is your happy place, I don't want to just say a bunch of negative things about it all the time, because then you won't even want to listen to our show anymore. But so that's sort of, I feel like for a lot of people that's true, including me. So I mean, that's why I want to keep things more positive, because Disney is everybody who's a Disney fan. I feel Disney is their happy place, so I want to keep it positive and just basically not pick topics like Genie Plus that I have nothing good to say about.
And that's why we haven't talked about that.
That's why we haven't talked about Genie Plus. If you want to hear somebody...
I can't say I have anything good to say about it either. So.
Right. But there is plenty of places out there that are critical of things like that.
Right.
So you can go to... I don't want us to be the go-to place for negativity.
Right.
You can find someplace else for that. So that's basically...
That's why when, COVID-19 happened and there wasn't as much news, that's kind of why we shifted the show to doing these segments.
We stopped doing the news. We stopped doing Disney news completely during the height of the beginnings of the pandemic, because there was really nothing happy or positive, and so we just decided, let's just not do the news until there's some good news to report on. So we made a conscious choice to do that. So that I just wanted to clarify.
We are kind of talking about some news stories, but we're definitely being a lot more choosy about them. But we're still kind of keeping our segments too, because we like that.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yes. So that's just our little video here. We'll keep it under a half hour, and we'll be back later in the month with a new episode of Jiminy Crickets and a new episode of Dateline Jiminy Crickets. And we'll see you real soon. Thank you, Ruthie.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Cricketeers. Bye.
Bye-bye.